A garland of forest flowers sways upon his chest. Wearing brilliant yellow silken garments, he dances with ankle bells tinkling upon his feet. Shri Radha and Krishna have become joined in one body, and together they play a flute within the grove of Nidhuvan. In this mood, the Lord of Vishwarup has come and manifested himself in the town of Nadia. Someone in that kirtan sings the name of Radha and Krishna. Someone else sings songs of Lord Hari's transcendental qualities, while others play the auspicious rhythms of the sweet and relishable mridanga drums. All this takes place in that spectacular performance. So please, all of you can sing after me and also clap. This way you're also part of this kirtan. Sundar Bala Sachidulala Nachat Shri Hari Kirtan Mein नाचत श्री हरि कीर्तन में सुंदर बाला सची दुलारा नाचत श्री हरि कीर्तन में भाले चंदन तिलक सुंदर बाला सची दुलारा नाचत श्री हरि कीर्तन में क्षीर चूड़ा दर्शी पाले वन फूल माला हिया पर डोले पहिरण पीत पतांबर शोभे मुकुर रुण झुण चरणों में सुंदर बाला सची दुलारा नाचत श्री हरि कीर्तन में राधा कृष्ण एक तनु है निधुवन माझे बंसी बजाए विश्वरूप की प्रभु जी सही आवत भक्त ही नदिया में बाला सचिवाला नाचत श्री हरि कीर्तन में कोई गायक है राधा कृष्ण कोई गायक है हरि गुण गान मंगल तान मृदंग रसाला बाजत है कोई रंगन में सुंदर आला सजीवला नाचत श्री हरि कीर्तन में सुंदर आला सजीवला नाचत श्री हरि कीर्तन में 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 सुंदर बाला सजीवला नाचत श्री हरि कीर्तन में नाचत श्री हरि कीर्तन में नाचत श्री हरि कीर्तन में गीताय गौरांग गीताय गौरांग गीताय गौरांग गौर हरि गीताय गौरांग गीताय गौरांग गीताय गौरांग गीताय गौरांग गीताय गौरांग गौर हरि गीताय गौरांग गौर हरि जय सच्चिदानंद जय सच्चिदानंद जय सच्चिदानंद जय सच्चिदानंद जय सच्चिदानंद गौर हरि जय सच्चिदानंद गौर हरि गौरा गौरा गौर हरि गौरा गौरा गौर हरि गीताय गौरांग गौर हरि हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 ज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरोः श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्ण चैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। मुखं करोति वाचालं पंगुं लंघयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरून् दीनतारिणम्। So I remember my first day when I came to the temple, and Gaura Purnima is coming up, and I knew Holi, but I had no idea what Gaura Purnima is, and I had no idea what Nitai Gaura Nitai is. So for the benefit of those who are new here and reiterate who Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is, today's class will be based on that. So first we must understand how did Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, like before even Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared, what happened. So this goes back about 550 years when Advaita Acharya is none other than Sadashiv and Mahavishnu combined together, who appeared, was much older than Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and seeing the fallen condition of Kali Yuga, he prayed upon the Lord. Oh my Lord, please appear to save these fallen souls of Kali Yuga. So here is Advaita Acharya on the banks of the Ganges with his Shalagram Shila, with tulsi leaves. He's offering prayers after prayers to the Lord. He's saying, please appear, please appear, please appear. When a pure devotee of the Lord prays, the Lord has to appear. So the prayer reaches the Supreme Lord, and there the Supreme Lord is thinking, the time has come again to go. I was just there 5,000 years ago, And I spoke the Bhagavad Gita so nicely. They have a Bhagavad Gita as it is, but seems like nobody is following the Bhagavad Gita. My words have been forgotten. So I should go, but Advaita Acharyas come and deliver them, help them. Whenever I've gone in a form where I have killed demons and all. So he's thinking what would be the best way to go. So the Lord thinks that the best way probably would be, because I have to show them how to love God or to love me, I have to set an example and I have to go as a devotee of myself. I've never done this before. So how do I do this? Go as a devotee of myself. This is something new for me and I have to set example. So he thinks, if I have to go as a devotee, Bhagwan and Bhakta are two different things. And how long can I act as a Bhakta? Because at the end of the day, I'm Bhagavan. Here in the assembly of devotees, if somebody is falling asleep, how long can they act to be awake? Right? My class is going on and they'll be like... And for a while they may try, but you just can't act for too long to be awake. Your eyes will go like Ishta Mukherjee, cross-eyed. And then you go into the amusement parks, there are rides that go like this, and eventually fall around. So the Lord is like, if I go, I'll show them that I'm a Bhagwan, I'm not a Bhakta. So he goes around and he goes to Srimati Radharani. He thinks for a while, who's my greatest devotee? And he finds nobody else than Srimati Radharani as the topmost devotee. And he says, I'm being called upon, I have to go. And Radharani says, you have to go, that's fine. But what are you going to do there? You're really mean, you're very, very harsh to your devotees. He says, what do you mean am I harsh to my devotees? Look at Sudama. He's my devotee and how much I helped him. He says, what are you talking about? Sudama, all his life, he worshipped you, he prayed to you. Look at his condition. Skinny, no house, no food, wife is crying, children are crying. How are you so merciful? Sudama walked all the way to Dwarka and he came to you for something. Now, Krishna, if anybody comes to the door knocking and saying, give me $2, give me $5, can you give me some food? Obviously you will give it to them when somebody comes. So that's not your greatness. If you go to somebody who's in need and give to them, then I can say you're great. You did do some dan when Sudama came, but if you go yourself to the devotee, that is Mahadan. Sure, if you can do that. So he's again in thoughts and he says, okay, I can do that. But he's saying, you cannot do that, Krishna, by yourself. You know what? You take my mood of bhakti towards you. I will give you that mood of bhakti. You take my mood of bhakti and you go as a devotee with my mood, worshipping and looking for Krishna. So Krishna, who is Sham Sundar, is dark like the monsoon clouds. If somebody asks what is the color of Krishna, it is described. The color of Krishna is like the monsoon clouds, which carries rain, water in it, dark clouds. So now Krishna merges with Srimati Radharani. He takes the bhav of Srimati Radharani, whose fair complexion and golden complexion, and he takes the golden complexion form of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ki. Yeah. Says, you go now. You went as Lord Ram, you went as Krishna, you killed Ravana, Marichi, you killed so many of them. As Krishna, from childhood only you started killing, sometimes with your hands, sometimes with your legs, you just killing. And you've set all these rules and regulations that if one wants, my devotee will come to Vaikuntha only if he has control over Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mad, Matsarya. All these, if he has control over, he can come. How are you so merciful? With me, it's not like this, Krishna. With me, to somebody to come to Barsana is very easy. I have only told them one condition, that you chant the names of Hari, you chant the names of Radha and Krishna, and you can come. So you go and deliver them. So Mahaprabhu takes the body complexion of Srimati Radharani, and he appears on the day of Holi, which is on Thursday. At 6:30, Mahaprabhu appeared. And that day it was an eclipse, a very, very special day. And from the moment he appeared, even as a little child, he engaged the entire family and elders in chanting Krishna's names. How? He started crying. As soon as he was born and taken out to his family, he would just cry. And unless and until the family members don't chant Krishna's names, he would not stop. So they would start chanting and he would be quiet. And they would stop chanting, now the baby's quiet, then he would start crying again. So this kept going on, and from childhood itself he engaged everybody in chanting. And then later on he grew up to be a scholar in scriptures. He is the knower of the scriptures. He is the owner of the scriptures. From him everything came, all the Vedas, everything. So he knew everything from childhood. He was a scholar. But later on, as he grew up, he took shelter of a spiritual master and he gave up all the Shastric knowledge and he just chanted the glories of the holy name, and he made everybody sing. So before this, Hare Krishna Mahamantra used to be chanted by the Brahmanas, by the sages. But when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came, he said, no, this Hare Krishna Mahamantra is not limited to only the Brahmanas. It should be given out freely. Anybody and everybody can chant. And the Brahmanas got very upset. How can you say like this? There are certain rules and regulations. This Hare Krishna Mahamantra is meant for those who are in the Brahmana family. So Mahaprabhu said, all right, what if I change the Mahamantra and I twist it backwards? Instead of Hare Ram first, I'll say Hare Krishna first and Hare Ram at the end. And the Brahmanas had a meeting and they said, you know what, if he's twisting the whole mantra, then it will have no power. Lest did they know that Vedaischa sarvair ahameva vedyo, the purpose of the Vedas is to know Lord Hari. And this Mahamantra is Lord Hari. These names are non-different from Hari. So he came and he tricked them and they said, okay, you can chant. And he distributed it freely. So his Sankirtan party would take all the devotees and chant. Even the dogs would follow. They're also singing and listening to these. Because Mahaprabhu very clearly said that one is not a Brahmana by birth. One becomes a Brahmana by their actions, by their qualities. And that's why we see that in the International Society, ISKCON, Srila Prabhupada, when he came, he made even the Westerners, what to speak about Westerners, but even the ladies in the Westerners. In India, you'll see ladies don't go on the altar. But he made them Brahmanas. This was the superior quality of Srila Prabhupada that nobody else could do. He made them into Brahmanas and to chant Hare Krishna. So like this, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu distributed the holy names, and Srila Prabhupada was the one who 1965 brought this Hare Krishna movement to the West and distributed it freely. And from there on, there was no stopping. And there is a prediction that for the next 10,000 years, this Hare Krishna movement will spread in every town and village. And we're practically seeing it. Today, I've personally seen on Zoom calls, we have chanting sessions, and I've seen Russian devotees and Ukrainian devotees on the same Zoom call, chanting the same names of Lord Hari without any grudges against each other. It is not possible otherwise. Prabhupada said this is real United Nations, where people from all countries come together with one goal in mind, which is to sing the glories of the Supreme Lord. And Prabhupada also said that there are so many religions, yes, but a lot of the religions have failed. Why? Because they have not taught their communities, or they've forgotten how to love God. It's not a sectarian movement that our way is the only way, otherwise the highway. Prabhupada said if you're a Christian, you follow the Bible to the word, every word, and develop love for the Lord. And people saw that how Srila Prabhupada was preaching and the transformations that devotees were having, that people just completely, without spending money, without having to go through any therapies or for drug addictions, these were hippies who were drug addicts. And just by chanting the holy names and following the four regulated principles, their lives were transformed. The government was even surprised that we are spending hundreds and thousands of dollars for rehabilitation for these people. And even after going to rehab, they come out and they again go back to their bad habits. And how come you all are able to do this? So if those hippies can be transformed into happies, we all can easily be turned into happies, very easily, because most of us here are from Bharat Bhumi te janma hoilo jar, janma sarthak karo, paropakar. It is our duty, those who are born in the land of Bharat Bhumi, or what we see India, Bharat Bhumi was much bigger then, have this responsibility upon ourselves to spread this message of Krishna consciousness to others. But first we ourselves become Krishna conscious. So Mahaprabhu's appearance is mentioned in several places. We may think, I never heard about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and now I'm hearing all this. We will continue hearing Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's glories and we will hear his glories till the end of time. In Srimad Bhagavatam itself it says, Krishna Varnam Tusha Krishnam Sango Pangastra Parshadam Yajnai Sankirtanai Prayer Yajanti Hi Sumedashah. In the age of Kali, intelligent persons perform congregational chanting to worship the incarnation of Godhead, who constantly sings the holy name of Krishna. Although his complexion is not blackish, he is Krishna himself. He is accompanied by his associates, servants, weapons, and confidential companions. So when we hear this, then we know that this is not just some saint that we are talking about. Many saints have come and called themselves Krishna, or representatives of Krishna. There are many Mahaprabhus, but there is one Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And anytime somebody calls themselves God or an incarnation of God, we have to go back to the scriptures and see what is mentioned there. All this is mentioned thousands of years ago in previous yugas before the Lord appears. I can understand somebody's born today and then you do their astrology and then you write about them. But that's after the fact. But this is all before the fact. Buddha's appearance was before he appeared. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's appearance is mentioned before he appeared. Kali's appearance is mentioned before he will appear at the end of Kali. In many other Puranas also, Garuda Purana says, Aham Purno Bhavishyami Yuga Sandhyo Visheshatah Mayapure Navadvipe Bhavishyami Sachisutaha. In the first part of Kali Yuga, I will appear in my complete spiritual form in Mayapur, Navadvip, and become the son of Sachi. So where he is going to appear is also mentioned. What we call Bengal today. Gauda Desh. Kale Prathama Sandhyayam Lakshmi Kanto Bhavishyati Daru Brahma Samaipa Statha Staha Sannyasi Gaura Vigraha. In the first part of Kali Yuga, the Supreme Lord in the golden complexion will become the husband of Lakshmi. Then he will become a sannyasi and reside near Lord Jagannath. So Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, of all his pastimes, he spent the most time in Jagannath Puri. He stayed there. And he was married. He was also Grihastha. But then he later took sannyas to teach to the world renunciation and to preach this message of Krishna consciousness. Padma Puran, Kale Prathama Sandhyayam Gaurang Gotam Mahitale Bhagirati Tate Rami Bhavishyami Sachisutaha. I shall take birth as the son of Sachi, assuming a golden form in a beautiful place on the bank of the Bhagirathi, Ganges, on the earth in the first part of Kali Yuga. Mayapur, the birthplace of Sri Chaitanya, is on the banks of the Ganges. There is a similar verse in the Brahma Puran predicting the appearance of Lord Chaitanya. In the Bhavishya Puran, Anandasru Kalaroma Harshapurnam Tapodhana Sarve mama eva drakshyanti kalau sannyasa rupinam. O austere sage, everyone will see my transcendental form as a sannyasi in the age of Kali. I will be displaying symptoms like shedding tears of bliss and hair standing on end out of ecstasy. Mahaprabhu used to do kirtan like that, tears flowing from his eyes. And one great sannyasi, his name was Prakashananda Saraswati, he met him. He says, what is this nonsense, singing and dancing? And you are a sannyasi, you should be sitting and studying Shastra. He said, because I am a fool, number one, my spiritual master asked me just to sing the glories of the Lord. Even today there are people who think that this chanting that we all do, singing and chanting, is all for the uneducated class. For the educated class, it is reading of the scriptures, of the Vedas. But it's actually other way around. After studying the Vedas, one comes to the conclusion that there is nothing else but the holy names of the Lord. Vayu Puran, Paurnamasyam Falgunasya, Falguni Raksha Yogataha, Bhavishye Gaura Rupena, Sachi Garbhe Purandarat. On the full moon day of the month of Falgun, conjoined with the star Falguni, I will appear in a golden form, begotten by Purandara in the womb of Sachi. Lord Chaitanya was born on the full moon day in the month of Falgun. His father was known by the names Jagannath Mishra and Purandara Mishra. Swarnadi Tiram Asthaya Navadvipe Janashraye Tatra Jvija Kulam Prapto Bhavishyami Jalanlaye. I will appear in a Brahmana family in Navadvip by the shore of the Ganges. Bhakti Yoga Pradannaya Lokasyanu Grahaya Cha Sannyasa Rupam Asthaya Krishna Chaitanya Namadrak. In order to engage the people in devotional service and bestow mercy upon them, I will take sannyas, accepting the name Krishna Chaitanya. And the same Krishna Chaitanya, Sant Tukaram, in his Abhangas, if you know, Sant Tukaram was a great saint from Maharashtra. He says that in my dreams one day, Sri Krishna Chaitanya came and initiated me into this path of bhakti. And since then, Tukaram Maharaj started this Varkari Sampradaya, who just sing the glories of Vitthal, of the names of Lord Hari. So Lord himself comes here to give us these names of Hari. Matsya Puran, Mundo Gaura Su Dirga Nangas, Tri Srota Stira Sambhavaha, Dayalu Kirtana Grahi, Bhavishyami Kalau Yuge. In the age of Kali, I'll be golden colored, I'll be tall and will have a shaven head. The place where I take birth will be a meeting point of three rivers. I will be very merciful and I will keenly engage in chanting the holy names. Lord Chaitanya, being an Ekadanda sannyasi, had a completely shaven head and was the custom for such sannyasis. Three rivers, the Ganges, the Yamuna and Saraswati, which is currently in her hidden form, flow at Navadvip. Mayapur. How many of you have been to Navadvip, Mayapur? Many of you have been there. Now we should make it a point to go and visit that place. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu comes very rarely. Krishna comes very rarely in this planet. He comes only one day of Lord Brahma. Lord Brahma's day is billions and billions of years. And in that one day, Krishna comes, and right after Krishna, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared. So we are very fortunate that in this Kali Yuga, in the previous Kali Yugas, Mahaprabhu did not come. So we are very close to it. And this movement is going to grow big time. So we all should take benefit of it, become part of it, and never have to go take birth again. Narada Puran, Aham eva kalau vipra nityam prachana vigraha bhagavad bhakta rupena lokan rakshami sarvada. O Brahmana, I will deliver all the words, concealing myself in the form of a devotee of the Lord in Kali Yuga. He's concealing himself. He's not showing. He's not displaying. He's not going around saying, I'm God. That's why people don't know much about him yet. But people are more and more. You go to China, you go to Russia, any part of the world, and you meet Hare Krishnas and they'll tell you about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Vijabhuvi Jayadvam Bhakta Rupinaha Kalau sankirtanarambhe bhavishyami sachisutaha. O demigods, please advent on the earth as devotees in Kali Yuga. To inaugurate Sankirtan, I will incarnate as the son of Sachi. So just like when Krishna came, he asked everybody to incarnate. Please go, I will come. Same way Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, all of you appear. So Advaitacharya is part of the Panchatattva. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivas and Adi means all others. Gaura Bhaktavrinda. Brihad Naradiya Puran. Harer Nam Aiva Kevalam Kalau Nastyeva Nastyeva Gatiranyatha. In this age of quarrel and hypocrisy, the only means of deliverance is chanting of the holy name of the Lord. There is no other way, no other way, no other way. And the Kali Santarna Upanishad says, Hare Krishna, this Mahamantra, let's chant together. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Iti Shodashaka Nam Kali Kalmashanashanam Nata Parotarupaya Sarva Vedeshu Drishyate. After searching through all the Vedic literature, one cannot find a method of religion more sublime for this age than the chanting of this Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu left only 8 verses. He just wrote 8 verses. And of those 8 verses, the third verse, so important. Trinadapi Sunichena Taroravi Sahishnuna Amanina Manadena Kirtaniya Sadahari. So we know what is important, chanting of the holy names. Krishna comes himself as Mahaprabhu. Now if one wants to chant the holy names, one should also know the process of chanting the holy names. And this verse that one can meditate and etch it. You see this devotee has etched it on his forearm. One should chant the holy name of the Lord in a humble state of mind, thinking oneself lower than the straw in the street. One should be more tolerant than a tree, devoid of all sense of false prestige, and should be ready to offer respect to everyone. In such a state of mind, one can chant the holy name of the Lord constantly. So we can check, we can always go back to this verse and see if we are not feeling the bliss, if we are not feeling strong in our chanting, go back to this verse and look at all those points that are highlighted. Am I being humble while chanting? Am I being tolerant? Am I offering respects to everybody? When we go back to these basics, it will help us. There's formula, many things for success in our Krishna consciousness. I'll come back to this later on. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Krishna's appearance is mentioned in Srimad Bhagavatam. The 10th canto talks everything about Krishna. When I joined and I started finding out about, hearing more and more about the glories of Mahaprabhu, I wanted to know more about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So I asked the devotee, how can I know more about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? Bhagavatam doesn't say anything, Bhagavad Gita really doesn't. Bhagavatam does, but in a very hidden form. So he said Chaitanya Charitamrita. Bhagavad Gita is the bachelor's study, Bhagavatam is the master's, and Chaitanya Charitamrita is the PhD. So I said, I want Chaitanya Charitamrita. He said, have you done your bachelor's yet? I said, no. Have you done your master's? Obviously not. And you want PhD? I said, yes, please give me PhD. Because I also heard in the class that if Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in the form of Chaitanya Charitamrita is sitting in your house, it's like welcoming Chaitanya Charitamrita in your house. So first I want to welcome the Param, the Purusha himself. So this Gaura Purnima is a wonderful day. If you do not have a copy of Chaitanya Charitamrita, get it. With everything going on in the world, with gas prices rising, this price is also rising. So get your copies, Gopal Govind Prabhu's here, and keep it in your house. Someday, today or tomorrow, you'll read it. Don't think you have not read Bhagavad Gita and you're not following Bhagavad Gita. How can I have this? Just having in your house, you'll pick it up sometimes, you'll read a few verses here and there. And 50 years down the road, if you've not opened the box at all, it will become an antique. And it will fetch a lot more dollars than $120. Anyways, jokes apart. But so get your copies and read Chaitanya Charitamrita. And now Thursday is Gaura Purnima, such an important festival. And this chanting is the essence of our Krishna conscious activities. And I want to encourage all of you. On this Thursday, there's something happening that happens only once a year. It is called the Shiksha Program, where people come up and they make commitments and they say, oh, Gaura Purnima Day, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, I want to start chanting one round of Hare Krishna starting today. So many devotees, you see their names at the bottom, your name is not there, you can tell me. But they have committed, they'll say, from Gaura Purnima Day, from Thursday, as an offering to the Lord, as a birthday gift to the Lord, I'm going to start chanting one round. And come to the temple whenever possible. So how many of you are chanting at least one round daily? Raise your hand. One round daily. I still don't see some hands. I know you're chanting. So raise so others can see how many of you raise high. Yes. And those who are not chanting one round of Hare Krishna Mahamantra, I humbly request you that try. We will give you the beads also. And you can start chanting. Anybody would like to commit to one round, at least one. It takes no more than 5 minutes. No more than 5 minutes. Krishna has given us so much time, we can give him 5 minutes of his time. Anybody would like to sign up for one round daily? Here? Everybody's chanting. Okay, if you're shy to say, then you come back to me. This is all free, of course, no charge. Then there is this 4 rounds a day, chanting daily. You see the names of devotees in the bottom. So chant 4 rounds minimum. You can chant 5, 6, it's okay. Voluntarily engage in devotional service and refrain from eating non-vegetarian food. Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, food that is offerable to me. It's okay, we eat or we have been eating. It's okay, but there's always a time we can start a new life. Many of the devotees used to eat meat before they came to Krishna consciousness, including myself. But when I heard the truth, it was between the taste of my tongue is more important or my desire to please the Lord is more important. I chose that I want to follow what the Gurus, Acharyas are saying, and to please the Lord is more important than just a taste. Since I stopped eating meat and onion garlic, my weight just kept increasing. My family thought that, what will I eat? I'll lose weight. I'll go weaker and weaker and weaker. But it happened the other way around. So those who may be fearing giving things up, actually it works out the other way around. The Lord will give you so much, that you'll say enough. Then there is the next category, 8 rounds to 12 rounds, and we've seen some names of devotees. They're all doing what was asked for before, plus they're following the 4 regulative principles of no meat eating, no intoxication, no illicit sex, and no gambling. Then comes the 16 rounds. That is the minimum one should get to. That should be our goal. Prabhupada said, before Prabhupada came, they used to chant 64 rounds a day. But Prabhupada knew that 64 is not possible. 16 is possible, practical. So do 16 minimum. And in this 16 rounds, all the prior requirements, and take some responsible service and read some of Srila Prabhupada's books. So I'm so happy to see we have all these devotees who have signed up to take 16 rounds daily. And then the final category is Sri Guru Charana Ashraya, where they're doing everything before that, but they've also committed to, or they are aspiring from a spiritual master. It's a matter of time when they will want to take shelter of a spiritual master. So this is a very planned a process of getting to that level. So you start with 1, go to 4, go to 8, and do not have fear. What if I'm not able to do? When you take 2 steps toward the Lord, He takes 4 steps towards you. Also on that day, we are going to have Abhishek, the bathing ceremony of the Lord on Gaura Purnima. Usually only the pujaris do, but on 2 days, Janmashtami and Gaura Purnima days, everybody gets a chance to do the Abhishek of the Lord. We already have some names here, there's some names outside. Anybody whose name is not here, you can give me your name, Amal Puran Prabhu. Just make a note, Amal Puran Prabhu and Sani Mataji. Anybody else who would like to do, you can give your names. This is an opportunity to bathe. And just quickly, I will cover this part that I had skipped quickly. Formula for success. Chanting is important, but also it is important that we chant attentively, keeping everything aside. Generally, what people do, what is the formula for failure? We do everything else attentively. and keep our chanting aside. But it should be other way around. We should be fixed in our daily sadhana. Whatever levels we are at, one should be determined that I will do that regularly. Failure is not fixed in sadhana, many dependencies. It snowed today, rained today, so today I will not take the association of devotees. I slept late last night, so today I will not chant my X number of rounds. I'm very tired and exhausted, so I will not do my seva today. That is being inconsistent, and there's dependencies on other things. To be successful in Krishna consciousness, you must be like how, what was his name? Who went to Ravana and put his foot down, and he said, Angad. You should put your foot down like Angad and say, Ravana, try and shake this if you can. Then you go to Lord Rama. So we should be fixed in our sadhana like this. Not be afraid. I'm not going to take up this because I'm afraid my leg may shake. Well, Angad was confident. He knew the power of Ravana, but he knew the power of Lord Ram's name even more. So he was not afraid of going and declaring to Ravana. Hanuman had his tail was burnt, and Angad is going and saying, try and shake this. And Ravana could not. So we have to also do it like that. Krishna, I will take your names, and I'll be very determined. And when we are shaken up, he will help us. The devotees will help us. We have to always remain humble in words and actions. Not just words or not just in actions. The opposite of that is arrogance. Now I'm this or I'm that. Thinking low of others and making fun of others. That is a pure formula for failure. One should be considering oneself as a servant of the devotees. The formula for failure is considering oneself a boss of devotees. Success is tolerance. Be patient in your journey of Krishna consciousness. And be patient with others. Be tolerant with them when others make mistakes. The opposite of that is zero tolerance. To be successful, never be proud, nor seek prestige or fame of what Krishna has given us. Failure is that we're always proud and looking for prestige and admiration. Be respectful to everyone, not expecting any respect in return. Other side is, we respect others based on who they are, when it is, and where the situation is, and we expect in return. Never gossip or speak ill of others or about others. A sure formula for failure is always gossiping and speaking ill about others, committing Vaishnava aparadh. If we come across such individuals, we must know when to escape from there, because one who gives years also to them is also accounted to be in that part of that Vaishnava aparadh. Always searching for good in others. If somebody has even a little good quality, we focus on that good quality. The other person would always find fault in others. And not only find fault, but magnify it to the extent that that's all they have. Formula for success is to be happy to see others progress. When somebody else is going in Krishna consciousness, it makes us happy. Not that I cannot bear that because that person is doing better than me and getting recognized. That's a sure formula for failure. Our attitude for gratitude, we should never forget what someone has done for us, including Srila Prabhupada and our acharyas. A failure formula is we have no gratitude at all. We take it very lightly. So what's the big deal? Even a dog doesn't do that. The master throws some food, the dog will be so loyal, will be grateful to the master till the end of life. Hankers for the association of devotees, that's a formula of success. Always wanting devotee association, dying for devotee association. Formula for failure is, I don't need to go. I can do it myself. Me, my mala, my bhajan. It will not work. It is not to work for anybody. If it works for us, we will be the next acharya of a new sampradaya. Formula for success is having full faith in Guru and Gauranga. And with one who doesn't have complete faith, can easily be shaken up. any moment, any minute. Like mantra comes, mantra will come and say something about Lord Ram, and she'll get shaken up. Mantra will come and say something about devotees or Krishna, his faith or her faith will be shaken up. And finally, wants to please Vaishnavas. Formula of success is, I only want to please Vaishnavas and get their blessings. Formula for failure is, I want to be pleased. I want others to serve me. So if we keep this in our mind, in our daily routine, our lives will kick off and will speed and progress so fast in Krishna consciousness. Hare Krishna. Anybody has any question or comments? Thank you. Yes.
Hare Krishna. Thank you for the nice class, Prabhu. Krishna spoke the Bhagavad Gita, so that's all in one book. Whatever he said is in Bhagavad Gita. So in this case, when Krishna is speaking about himself coming, why is it scattered around in so many Puranas here and there, and like bits and pieces, not in one location, all of these verses?
Yeah, so the Puranas are even prior to the Bhagavad Gita. The Vedas were even before. These Puranas are historical, spoken by many sages. It's history. It comes down to Shruti and Smriti, one that is spoken, one that is memorized and heard and given down. So one must understand this yugas, the 4 yugas. The creation has no beginning and no end. It goes for so many. So these Puranas and all these scriptures, Padma Puran, Vishnu Puran, Matsya Puran, so many Puranas, different places. The Lord is glorified in many places. And it is said that he will come here, he'll come here. And the Lord knows that if I just give my reference in Bhagavad Gita in one place, they will not accept it. In one place they will not accept it. So multiple places his mentioning is done. You see? Many places his names are mentioned that he will come. Yes.
Not only that, in all the references that we read today, it was very precise. Sachi, Sutta and Navadvipa, everything is very pinpointed, like very specific. Nothing is left for guessing.
And this Vidya is called Raj Vidya Rajaguhyam Pavitram Tamuttamam. This is the most confidential knowledge. Also, this is knowledge. If it's mentioned every year, why doesn't everybody know that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was going to appear in our Dvipa? I'm telling you here with the references, and some people will still not believe. So what to speak about others? I'm still saying that meat eating is not acceptable to the Lord, and people still not accept it. So he has to say in many places, and he has to say through many mouths also. Until one comes, gives up their own ego, and takes the shelter of the Lord, it is not possible. Thank you for that question. Anybody else? Okay, so we will